Well, as usual, I would not have answered some of the questions posed by my nephew Mujid. But since we are in the era of education, we may have to do so for the benefit of those who are listening to us. Mujid, did you say the money has come? And if it says so, what money has come? Because as far as I'm aware, the president promised that, told us, not even promised, he told us that he, out of his prompting to the finance minister, the cedi equivalent of 100 million cedis dollars had been made available to us. As soon as the president says that, those people who have responsibility of managing the economy, including members of parliament, will then have to go through the books to see where this money is being taken from, isn't it? Is it taken from the consolidated fund? If so, are we following the necessary regulations in getting them? Lo and behold, it came out that we didn't have that money. So Mudid, we are not, as at today, talking about $100 million. And if by what happened at Parliament a few days ago, that they have approved $35 million to be derived from the IMF, like Mona said, watch my mouth, my lips, the IMF. Yeah? Read commentary around November, December about IMF. As if the IMF was some dungeon of hell. Nobody should go, no Ghanaian should go near. But again now, we are going through IMF. And we did. This $35 million that you have sought from Parliament, this $35 million that you have taken approval from Parliament, do not get any Ghanaian to understand that the money has hit our accounts. Because it is now that the Parliament has approved that the processes have to be taken to take the money from the IMF. The last time I checked, the IMF themselves have closed down and they are working from the houses. And the whole world is also, many countries are also going for the IMF for the same facility. So don't give any Ghanaian any hope, immediate hope, that the money has come, because no money has come. Mujid, you said that we are politicizing, some people are politicizing the issue. And I want to plead with you, this must be the last time you said that. Because any issue has various dimensions. And like even health, you agree with me that this is a health issue. But it has financial implications, it has environmental implications, it has economic implications, and it has societal implications. Now, some of my former colleagues in the environmental world are saying that one of the few advantages they are looking at is how the ozone layer is behaving, because now the world, the universe seems to be healing itself. Well, you know, all the factories are closed down, you know, no human activity. So the universe appears to be slightly healing itself. Some of the effect of this is that now Ghana has found it necessary and sensible to clean our markets. Mujid, if you read the budget of every district assembly, every common fund has gone with fumigation of our markets. And we have stayed, both as government and as individuals, have never disinfected our markets. So that's one of the effects of the coronavirus on Ghana. Then aside of that, there's also the remote ideological revelation that says that those who invested in capitalist enterprises, those who invested in military hardware, may have all got it wrong. Because after all, today, we cannot fight this small disease with nuclear weapons. Are you following me? And that it is those sensible countries that invested in their health facilities like Cuba and even China and Russia. So now, have you been reading that it is these countries that have been so outlawed, so abused, that are giving us the hope to mankind? That is Cuba, that is sending doctors. So there's this ideological angle also coming up that, hey, after the coronavirus, the world will not be the same, and politicians don't have to behave the same way. So that if you inherit a government and the previous government had built hospitals, it is very unwise not to commission those hospitals for the use of the people. That is coming out very clear. So some of us are questioning the Bank of Ghana governor. What is the reason that for 3.5 years the Bank of Ghana hospital has not been opened? And did it not occur to you, or you ought not have known, that by closing that hospital for 3 years, which has been completed, you were denying human beings, Ghanaians, access to health, which is a fundamental human right? He would have to answer this question. The Bank of Ghana government will have to answer this question. Why they did not open the hospitals up to today? And that is not the only hospital I'm told. You know, Fomena and all those hospitals have been completed, are not being used. The coronavirus is teaching us this sense that, look, if somebody has invested in the health system, it's better than all the other investment. I'm not saying that it's not good, but it's better than all other investment. So now you have asked the question whether the continuing battle against COVID-19, question is, have we started any battle? Have we started any battle? Or do we think that the regular updates by Kojo upon Nkrumah or the president's invitation to political parties is part of the war? It is not. It is not at all. Education is very essential. You understand? Education is very essential. But what is the syllabus for education in this matter? The syllabus for education has not been given by government or any other. It is a WHO protocol, that says that please wash your hands, keep your social distance, avoid close contact. These are WHO standards. So if Mujid will not say that Ghana government is advising us to follow WHO protocols, but we're saying that like all communicators, the government is doing well, we should follow the government's protocol guideline. It is not the Ghana government protocol. It is the WHO protocol to all the world. So a country should not hide behind this laid down protocols, laid down syllabus, and think that his education system is the best in terms of education. See, Sana, if we had all radio stations, okay, we had the information vans, and I don't know where they are now. We had the district assemblies. When there's elections, many political parties put up pickups. If we had started the war, the president would have ordered, you understand, by now there should be social mobilization of the armed forces, the police, Ghana Water and Sewage, and all institutions with water, to send water to deprived communities. Not so. Have you seen that? That is the beginning of the war. Because sanitation, if somebody is at Aboboloshi or whatever, and doesn't have access to water, how does he clean his hands? So instead of mobilizing the police forces to come and brutalize people, you understand? Education should be that, please, it is in your own interest not to go out. Not so. It's in your own interest not to go out. And the people who are crying that in a lockdown will have problems, they are just crying because they will not have access to food. Not so. They will not have access to good drinking water. Where are the planting for food products? Only last year, no, November, Dr. Bawumia went to Kumasi and recited 72% achievement about planting for food. That we have excess rice. No, so where are the rice? Why don't you give these Kayayes the rice to cook themselves? Why? If I had seen one morning the president ordering that great minister, stop the talk, go to the warehouses, bring out the food, right? Give it to the Kayaye, let them cook. Then I know something is happening. Senna, none of this is happening. Now, you see in America, the president, I don't like Trump, but some of his policies, like for example, he's ordered some companies to start manufacturing respiratory materials, not soap, which will be needed in America, will be needed in Ghana. So all the machines, all the one district, one factory that we have established, all the one district, one factory factories, how and why would not the president commandeer these factories to produce even the nose masks? Because that is the fight. It is not the information you give only. So now, you remember, are you following me? It is not the daily or weekly information you give. That is the fight against coronavirus. It is not that. It is giving people real PPEs, giving people nose masks, giving people hand sanitizers. Now, even now, if we, those of us who can afford, go, if we are able to go to town, we cannot get the hand sanitizer to buy. Right? That is the fight. So I asked you the question, have we really started the fight? Now, we did. You are saying that some people are playing politics. And I want to ask, the situation we have, is it not about choices? And that if there was another government in power, you understand, his approach may have been different. Not so. His approach may have been different. So the people would have to know the difference of operations. Of course, we are very much aware that when there was Ebola, Mahama had his plan. He has his operations. And even though this Ebola started as a West African problem, he prevented it from coming to Ghana. So that's it. So if Mahama says that, look, I have put together a team that can help you, is that politics? So now, you have your homework, you cannot do it. Somebody says, oh, I can help you do your homework. That person become a bad person. I listen to comments, including Mujib. Here. Kojo upon comment that Hajide, Adam, Hajide, whatever it is. Pious. Lambasting Mahama for putting up this team. But the stone that the builders reject shall always be the cornerstone. Yesterday, I think I heard a president saying that he's going to use the handbook that the NDC has provided. Also, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot of technical sense. I am sure if the president reads it, he'll have a lot of technical sense. Mujib, did we not tell the president to close our airports long before now? Did the disease start in Ghana? It started in China. When one of our members, Baba Musa, that guy is very active, he was always posting on the social media that Ghana be prepared because what we are going through here is not the best. Instead of listening to him and doing what is right, the argument became Okuja to Ablakwa has opened his mouth to say that we should go and bring our people from China. And so that became the social, political discussion. This is how we are treating ourselves. So we had about 3 or 4 months notice. So now you following me? That was the time the finance minister should have gone to parliament for this $35 million. And by now we should have processed it. Because the $35 million, you know what they are going to do? It is intended that they should go and buy PPEs. Where in the world are we going to get the PPEs to buy? Would you tell me, where are we importing the PPEs from? So the minister comes to, on there and says, oh, we have provided some hospitals with PPEs. Then the hospital comes and say, boss, we haven't received anything. This is what we are talking about. Muji, those of us who know and have been in that position under Mahama and knows what we did to prevent Ebola, we cannot keep quiet as you misinform the people. For example, if you say that you are going to do a lockdown but give 48 hours notice, who does that? What is going to happen is that there will be mass migration from the area of where you are going to lock down to where there's not going to be a lockdown. And you all saw what happened. That was a very badly planned lockdown. Against the advice of the Ghana Medical Association. Sana, today, when we want to seek advice on this issue, who should the president listen to? Not the Ghana Medical Association. The Ghana Medical Association has warned us long time ago that there should be a total lockdown. Long time ago. But the president is playing Captain Planet. He said, oh, they are vulnerable, they are this and that and that. I and you saw China build a whole hospital of about 10,000 rooms within how many days? 2 weeks. Sana, these vulnerable people that we are talking about, if it's the toilet they are talking about, couldn't we have mobilized ourselves to build the toilets for them? Couldn't we? Now, we are going to question. When Howard Yakubu, is it Howard Kumsin? Yeah, no, sir. Howard Kumsin was giving us an account of how much he has spent by his ministry in respect of the one constituency, $1 million. What did he say? He said they have built toilets, about 13,000 toilets. Where are the toilets now? For which we cannot go and do a total lockdown. You see, Mujid, if you lie today, in 20 years, we have to look for more lies. Today, we know that there's no food anywhere in the planting for food to give anybody. Today, we know that none of your factories can be commandeered to do the PPEs. But of course, the only factory that you said was Eco Juice. Bridget, did we not warn you to close the borders long time ago? Did China here? My friend ABF Hussein was here. I was here with him. He said that there should be total lockdown. And a week later, the Ghana Medical Association said it. Because if now the situation is that people who have not traveled before are now getting the disease, then we are in big trouble. I am beginning to believe that Mahama is a saint. You remember that remember that he imported what we call Oniado, this clinical thing, a whole hospital on pills. If those equipment were in use, could we not have just fitted some few things and be going around to do the mass testing? Could we not have used the Oniado trucks? Or could we even not have used this Oniado trucks if somebody calls emergency? This vehicle could have been moved there to go and give that person at least first aid. Those Oniados are parked at the Parliament House. People's money. Sarah, we are not doing politics. We are asking questions that, if those questions are asked, will solve the problem. How much are we using for education? How much is being used on the weekly updates? That these weekly updates cannot be given to the radio and television stations. That every Sunday, Kojo Opon Nkrumah have to assemble people, give them the same information apart from changing the figures. And we think that we are fighting the coronavirus by giving such information. So, if we swam powerful meets the president, Sana, there is democracy in the choice of airways where you want to listen to. You remember one day I was coming from Takrady. Another radio station has called me to go there. I said, no, I have my fidelity with Alhaji Alhaji. I told you that on there. So, since the closure of Alhaji and Radio Gold, many people have not been listening to radio. So for some people, was damn right in saying, Mr. President, if we can give the same amnesty. But let me correct a certain point. You see, all prosecutions in this country are done in the name of the president. So effectively, anybody who is jailed by the president. You know, in the republic. Yes, in the name of the republic. But the president is the head of the republic. Okay, that's why he has executive powers, and that is why he has a prerogative right, even though it's the republic that jails him. The state, okay, we are the state, but the head of state is the president. That's why my argument. I want to make the argument that the state jails people. Is that not the case? But the president has prerogative powers to free some of those people. So for some people, just right. That yes, it is not you who jail them, it's the state. But you are the head of state. And you also have the right to release people. If you have done that, if you have that power, and also as of today, you have claimed for yourself emergency powers, then please give same dispensation to the radio stations that have been closed. And I think that was a fair request. But what is the president saying? He did not ask them to close it until he cannot open them. I hope the radio and television stations that have been closed will take up this challenge and go through within the shortest possible time to fight that clauses, that Minister of Communication, to give us the reasons why, as of today, those radio stations has not been opened. Finally, Senator, I must register my disgust about politicians who are taking advantage of the situation to abuse the vulnerables the more. Today, everywhere you go, you see hand sanitizers with contestants. If somebody is in need and you are going to give him hand sanitizer, must you advertise yourself on the sanitizer? I hate this. It's unethical and it must be stopped. It must be stopped. Why are you going to give hand sanitizer to somebody and you must brand it in your name, in political party colors? I have noted that apart from the 35 million cedis that we are going to use, individuals and organizations are also donating. But the problem I have with such donation is that instead of donating to the committee the president has said, they are donating to the first lady, second lady, and other political heads. For what? For what? Is the first lady the one fighting in the lead of the fight against the coronavirus, or there's a committee? So if Farmer, for example, gets up and go and donate to the first lady and the second lady, what do you expect? Politicization. That the second lady and the first lady should be able to distribute to people. Where is he going to distribute that? I want to ask the president and all leaders that we have voted them to power to work. And this, Mujid, I am getting tired and sick that we should applaud the president. Applaud the president. For what? For working or not working? You have been made a president for good and for bad, isn't it? So that's not so. And if there's coronavirus and you want to donate 3 months of your salary, go ahead and donate it. Go ahead and donate it. As if the coronavirus will wait for the next 3 months before you could take your salary. I want to end, but nobody should say that the NDC is playing politics. The NDC, which I am a member, we are so determined to put all our, resources at the disposal of the government, because the coronavirus will not kill only MPP or NDC. It could kill everybody. We are prepared to support, and the president should order his operatives to be accommodative and stop the insult they have been insulting the president and John Mahama and the rest. Your friend, your uncle ABA was saying that it is those who don't have drums that beat their chest. We have the track record to be able to solve this matter if that